rest and get blessed. Nothing more, nothing less. Big blessing sitting in the queue. Get a small clue after straying from the path. Gotta do the math, turn back to the master's class. Division plus subtraction adds up to attraction. Limiting all distractions, tuning us like a fork for the perfect traction. The rubber meets the road, you dig? Haven't you been told? There's gold at the end of that road. The goal that I know you wanna hold. The goal that breaks the mold after taking hold of your promised land. Land of our fathers, man. Rest and get blessed. Nothing more, nothing less. Big bless.
Yes, family. Welcome to the journey. I'm Jeshron, the Promised Land Consultant, and the motto that we live by here is I'm dedicated to serving you, family, from sun up to sun down. Dedicated, family, to seeing you planted, growing, and manifesting in your promised land. And for those of you who have never heard what a promised land consultant is, it's an individual that walks with you along the way as you are striving to get to your hopes, your dreams, and your aspirations, as I call it, your promised land. They're speaking in your ear. They're gassing you up. They've got premium gas inside of their soul from being hooked into the scripture all day, getting the picture, and they're dialing up that picture in your mind every time you go through an obstacle and fall down, because a righteous man falls down 7 times, but he gets back up. Especially when he has a promised land consultant in his ear, speaking into him every few seconds, words of life, words of peace, words of righteousness every chance that he gets. And that's what I seek to be in anybody's life that tunes in to my station. I'm gonna speak to you. I'm gonna lift you up. I'm gonna help you along the day. And the conversation for today that's gonna gas you up, that's gonna put that fuel in your tank, is the rest you need to get blessed. Rest and you will get blessed. I know everybody's heard this before from someone or somewhere, but in the hustle culture that we live today, it is not recommended to rest and sit back. But what I'm saying to you today is, when you have made a wrong turn, as we all do, because when you work non-stop, all day, every day. See, I used to be a workaholic, so I know when I was in corporate America, all I did was work. And when you work too much, you are bound. I repeat, you are bound to make errors and mistakes. And when you find yourself driving down the road of one of those errors that you have made that is egregious to the Most High, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and his risen Messiah, this is what I want you to do. This is how I want you to handle this situation, or at least this is my advice to you for how you should handle the situation. Return to him. Come back to him. Sit at his feet and just rest. Now, this doesn't come from me. This comes from one of my favorite prophets of old who lived during the 8th century BC. He was from the upper class in Israel. His name was Isaiah. And see, the people that he lived with, they had grown fat. They had lost the need for God. They were more interested in work. They were more interested in taking advantage of the poor. They were more interested in other nations. They were more interested in themselves. And they were blinded to the fact that they were driving down the wrong road. And without the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and his risen Messiah, they were not connecting with him, and they were not following his laws or his commands during that time. And here's what Isaiah told them, which is what, this whole video is about anyway, is what he said. But he said this in Isaiah 30 and 15. He simply said, "In returning and rest shall ye be saved. And quietness and confidence shall be your strength, and ye would not." And ye would not. You see how powerful that is? And that's what that's about. That's what this is about today, is when you are driving, when you are speeding towards your promised land and you make a wrong turn, as we all do. You get off track, but your GPS doesn't say anything until it's 10, 15, 20 minutes later, you're down the road and something in your heart's just kind of tapping, saying, hey, you're going the wrong way. You might want to turn around. You ain't hearing from the Most High the way that you used to, the way that you always did. The communion time is not the same. You feel me? You see what I'm saying? What you need to do, which is very simple. He makes it real easy for us, no matter what you've really done. I mean, there's a few things that you could do that might, put you on the outer fringes. But usually, no matter what you've done, if you just come back, he will give you rest. And that's what's beautiful about being a child of the Most High, is when we do something wrong, when we go the wrong way, and we come back to him, he gives us rest in the moment. Unlike the kings of this world, where when you do something wrong, they require you to work more just to fix the wrong that you did, and they'll put you through hell and high water just to get it fixed. Hell and high water just to get it fixed when you do something wrong in this world and with the kings of this world. But with the king of the Israelites, of the Hebrews, it's different when you come back to him and you admit your mistake. And that's what so many people don't want to do. That's what so many people don't want to hear or see. They don't want to humble themselves and say, yeah, I drove down the wrong road. Yes, I made a wrong turn. It is my fault that I did this. They don't want to do that, and that's why they don't return. That's why they don't make that U-turn. They just keep traveling down the road at a high speed too, knowing they're going the wrong way. But family, what I'm telling you is, when you make that wrong turn and you know this isn't the way to your promised land, you know that this is no benefit to you, you know that this is going to lead to destruction in the end for you and maybe your family who's in the car with you, return to him and rest. See, there's some people who will return, right? We'll come back, but we won't rest. I'm one of those who would come back, but I would not rest. See, this happened to me when I was in corporate America, right? I was a workaholic, and all the relationships that I ever came by were usually someone that I worked with or was like a customer, which were always a no-no. And when I got caught up, I quickly came back to God, but I wouldn't rest. I wouldn't stop working. I wouldn't stop getting to the bag as much as I could. So after I wouldn't rest, the Most High took me out of the position of leadership that I was in because I wouldn't rest and just come back to him. I was like, yeah, I know I did wrong, but I fixed that. It's gone now. I'm gonna keep working. I'm gonna keep going at it. I'm gonna keep getting it the way I was getting it before. That ain't how it works. That ain't how it goes down. It goes down. There's two conditions to this, you see. It's return and rest, right? And then when you return and rest, in that quietness, you find strength. When you don't be quiet, when you don't take that time to reconnect with him and just be quiet, and he's showing you all the things that you have done wrong, he's showing you all the options that you have done wrong as they play out in your mind, because that's how he connects with you, right? He's teaching you in those moments where you're just quiet. You find that your spirit gets stronger. You find that you won't make the same mistakes again because you've taken time to rest. You've taken time to sit back and understand the situations where you slipped up, where you took the wrong turn, where you read the wrong sign that led you astray. It happens, and it can just be little things sometimes. But that's where a lot of us get tripped up, is we return, but we don't rest. We don't take that time in quietness to find the strength that he gives to us when he speaks to us in those quiet moments when we're alone by ourselves. And most of us don't want to sit alone, because you know what happens when things get quiet. That the things that you did in the past start to play out. And a lot of us, many of us, aren't strong enough to let the past replay out in front of us in our minds by ourselves. We have to live out our mistakes on our own, by ourselves. A therapist can't do it for you. A therapist can't do it with you. Yes, they can go through the process, but it's not the same as doing it with the Most High. They can bring it up. They can show you and tell you and highlight a few things. But in the end, for you to have closure, to close that door, for it not to come up in your mind anymore, you have to go to the footstool, to the throne of the Most High. Lay it out in front of him. Let him tell you what you did wrong. Let him tell you how it could have gone, let him tell you what's what. Let him tell you where the mistake was. Let him tell you how to fix it next time. Let him tell you the game plan going forward. And then in that strength, you move. Then in that strength, you get going again. So remember, there's a couple of parts to it. Once you start going down the wrong way, return, right? Repent, return, same thing. Come back to him. He's going to give you rest. He's going to give you time to get it all back together. Then once you've returned, you've rested, he's going to give you that in that quietness. That's where you find your strength. That's where you find your power. That's where you find that connection with the Most High. And we all have to go through that. We all need that time with him just to kick back, sit back, talk to him, let the whole situation that happened play back in front of us so we can understand what has happened and why it happened, family. All right. So that was the conversation for today. Please remember that I'm Just Ron, the Promised Land Consultant. It's dedicated, family, to serving you from sun up to sun down. Dedicated, family, to seeing you planted, growing, and manifesting in your promised land, family. I pray that this message helps you when you make those wrong turns that are inevitable in life as you are pushing and driving and traveling to get to your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, that promised land. When you take those wrong turns, I pray you get back on track quickly. I pray that you return to the Most High's feet and lay out those wrongs in front of them so you and him can talk them out and you get back on track and you get back to the journey to where you're supposed to be. Family, I pray each and every one of you have a blessed one until I catch you in the next one.
We getting big blessed, nothing more, nothing less. Leaving behind transgressions, transitioning with aggression. Cause we pulling up on your dreams, cause we pulling up on the throne. Yeah, like it's our home. Tell the Most High, you come back home. The righteous, bold as a lion. You know I ain't lying. All I know is that truth. That's the only thing I let in my group. Let me know if you really need proof. You'll see me sitting on the roof, praying every day, by the way, night and day. That's how I make a play. That's how you rest and get blessed, is when you do the prayers. Don't make them rare, you gotta have the flair.
I just get carried away.
Every time I put in that work,
I just get carried away.
and you know that I love to clock in,
I just get carried away.
and you know that I forget to clock out.
I just get carried away.
Don't you see what I've always been about?